Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first We the People for the 2020 campaign season. Our guest tonight is Sema Hernandez, who is returning. Sema ran in, what was it, 2018? When did you run against Ted Cruz? It was a while back.
2018.
2018, yeah.
Seems like so long ago.
It seems like 2016, but it wasn't. It was 2018, which seems like a long time ago. Yeah. And we have Laura here, who is going to take your questions in chat, and we will address those questions at the end of our show. This is going to be a much faster format. We the People trying to do this so we can talk to more candidates and probably have Sema back later on in the campaign season because we are starting a bit early here. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Thank you for being here, Laura. Thank you, Sema. Hi.
You're welcome.
All right. And thank you, audience. Glad we have some people showing up. This was really shared on social media, and I appreciate that, everybody. It was nice to see that there was a lot of people. And Sema, you got out you were pushing it in social, and that's great because we want more people to watch this. Last time, you really didn't get a lot of coverage. We interviewed you. I don't even think TYT dropped by, right? They were pushing the Beto train, right, Sema?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. And you actually came away with a pretty astonishing percentage of votes in the Democratic primary, didn't you?
Yeah, we did about 24, almost 25% of the vote.
Yeah. And my guess is you did it for a hell of a lot less dollar per vote than Beto.
It was less than a penny per vote.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. And you are running this time against who? Who are you taking on?
Senator John Cornyn.
John Cornyn. Yeah, I went to look him up, and basically what I found was not good. I mean, this is all we need to see progressives, right? So oil and gas money, more than $1 million there. This is just getting going for 2020. That's a very small amount. I'm sure by the time we get through this first year, that's going to be way higher, right? But he's already building quite a chest there to campaign. I take it John is not a believer in climate change.
Absolutely not.
That's what I thought. You've got some problems going on in your area of Texas right now with bad air, right? What's happening?
Well, it's bad air, bad water, bad soil.
Well,
yeah. Pretty much everything is bad. It's an ecological disaster here in our area of Deer Park, Pasadena, and the southeast part of Texas near Houston. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and you've been under stay at home, right? What did they have you guys do? Did the fire go out? There was another fire, right? You sent me a couple images of a whole other thing that started. Right?
Yeah, well, the fire started March 17th, and it was put out about 3 days later, and then it reignited again on, I believe, Thursday or Friday. But we had been under a shelter in place for a few days. So essentially, the petrochemical industry has been holding us hostage in our own neighborhood because they can't seem to get their stuff in check. They can't seem to follow rules because Texas is the most, it's the least regulated state of the union.
I was just about to say that is the least regulated state in the union. It's interesting. At the same time, I remember seeing an article maybe a month ago that the refineries in Texas were requesting that Texas pay for their upgrades to battle climate change. I thought that was quite interesting. What do you think about that?
Well, they don't. The senators here don't believe in climate change, and they're doing the very best that they can to promote. And the energy sector, of course, it has to do more with fossil fuel industry than anything. And just today, we have another chemical fire in Crosby, Texas, which is about a 20-minute, maybe 25-minute drive from where I'm living at. And it just goes to show the more deregulation, the more catastrophe that's going to happen. It's all for profit.
Yeah, that's and it's pretty bad in Texas. There was if I'm not mistaken, it was last year, the year before, there was another chemical plant that also exploded at some point in time, I think due to flooding, right?
Well, it happened during Hurricane Harvey, and it was the Archemia plant in Crosby, Texas.
Oh, go figure.
And it's an ammonia plant.
Ammonia is not healthy for any of us to breathe.
No, obviously not. But there were other refineries along the ship channel and I-10 in Texas that also took on a lot of water. So all of their protocols failed and they were inundated. And the resolution from Ted Cruz and Senator John Cornyn was to fund a wall to protect the oil industry from floodwaters instead of funding the proper infrastructure or funding a renewable energy source, they decided to use taxpayer money to protect the fossil fuel industry.
Well, of course. I mean, the fossil fuel industry is big in Texas. It's doesn't that what keep Texas? Isn't that Texas jobs? Fossil fuel industry. Why don't you want Texas jobs, Sema?
Oh, I'd love Texas jobs. I just wish that they were more renewable and sustainable, because let me tell you, oil is a finite resource. It's going to end. We need something that is going to be renewable, something that is going to be sustainable for our health, for our environment, and for our economy. And oil is not it.
Right. So you're for a just transition, taking those people and moving them into jobs that are green oriented, right?
Absolutely. Instead of subsidizing the oil industry to sequester us in our homes and poison our water and poison our air, I think that we should be subsidizing renewable energy, responsible energy sources, rather than continuing to promote socialism for the rich and for the wealthy and for the industry that continues to poison us.
Well said. Very progressive of you. And we're gonna knock out some of those progressive answers. We just took care of one right now, but we're gonna try this. This is just a test, everybody. I wanted to do something more fun for we the people, and I thought we'd try Progressive Jeopardy. So we've got a few questions here, and I know, Sema, you had to put on your glasses so you could see this because it's pretty small on the screen. I understand. It's blurry for me too. But these are your categories, everybody. We have go to health, working for a living, habitable planets, we don't need no, political capital, and Bernie says. They're all worth 100 unicorns, which is because we don't have any money and, we're progressives, except for the Bernie says one, which is worth 500. And this means absolutely nothing because it's what your policies are that matter. We just thought we'd have fun with this. All right. So,
all right.
You ready? Please choose category.
Go to health.
All right. Category, go to health. The answer is a human right. A human right. Please state your answer in the form of a question.
What is healthcare as a human right?
Beautiful. Healthcare for all, single payer. That was fantastic. So I take it you're not for, what is it, Medicare for America? Isn't that Beto's plan?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's nothing better than Medicare for all, not just for people who want it, but everyone, and make it accessible and affordable for everyone to obtain it, because it doesn't mean a damn thing if you can't get to it. It doesn't mean a damn thing if you can't afford it.
Yes. Absolutely. So what do you think of the Democrats' current efforts to shore up the ACA? Do you think that's a smart move? I mean, AOC's on that. Bernie Sanders is like, what's the point? What do you think of that?
No, I think absolutely. What's the point? It's like sustaining something that it doesn't work, that is dysfunctional. And the ACA in itself is dysfunctional, and it's designed to put profits in the hands of the people who want to keep healthcare away from us. So I'd rather cut out the middleman, which is the insurance industry, and put healthcare between a doctor and a patient, and make the profits just not be an issue.
Fantastic. Agreed. No more Scots. I don't want to have any more friends dead because of somebody else's greed. How about you?
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Please choose another category. That was great. You got 100 unicorns.
Thank you. All right. So Bernie says.
Bernie says you're going for the 500. Okay. All right. Here we go. Bernie says, unlike blank, I did not come from a family that gave me $200,000 allowance every single year starting at the age of 3. As I recall, my allowance was a huge 25 cents a week. So, unlike blank, please state your answer in the form of a question. Who is
Donald Trump?
Very good. Very good. Yes. Donald Trump, money bags. And today, apparently, he decided his father came from Germany. Did you hear that?
I heard. Wow, a pathological, narcissistic liar. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, and Puerto Rico is not a part of the United States. Still, anyway, that was another one. That was 3:30 a.m., apparently. Puerto Rico, not part of the United States.
Explains why they didn't get federal funding.
Yeah, that's all.
We use their resources, which is unfortunate. It's just more colonizing, and we should either decolonize them or let them become a state. It's whatever they choose. Give them the voting rights and representation that is required for the people of Puerto Rico.
Interesting that you say decolonize. Do you think they might be better off not as a state?
Well, I think that's for them to decide.
I mean,
But
honestly,
from the history, it's been colonized, used, and abused, and they're disposable, and that's something that is unacceptable.
absolutely. Well, they're predominantly not white, Sema. That's why.
Yes, I do understand the racism deeply rooted in what is called America.
Yes.
We're up to 600 unicorns.
That's
Awesome.
outstanding. Thank you. And hi everybody who's here. What do we have here? You can check chat. There's 30 people watching. Thank you all for being here.
We got Metalhead in the audience.
Hey, Metalhead. Good to see you.
Long time.
Yeah. All right. So pick another category, please. We're cruising right along.
Let's see, habitable planets.
Habitable planets. All right. This legislation is being pushed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and is backed by Bernie Sanders, Greta Thunberg, and the Sunrise Movement. Answer in the form of a question.
What is the Green New Deal?
Yes, correct. I take it you support the Green New Deal because you support the human species.
I do, and I also support the federal jobs guarantee.
Excellent. And the federal jobs guarantee would do what?
It would help promote public jobs in the public sector rather than putting it in the private sector, and would be a boost in the economy. It's a job that is guaranteed with a living wage.
Outstanding. Sounds good to me. I like that. Another 100. That's amazing. Another category, please.
All right, let's see. Working for a living.
Working for a living. Oh, now where'd that go? There it is. So this is under the category working for a living. The answer is a human right. Please state
What
your
is a
answer.
living wage?
Outstanding. So it's been 4 years since we pushed $15 an hour. Do you still think we should be pushing $15 an hour?
Well, that's what we're pushing now, but I think it should be more around $25 an hour.
Yeah, I'm here with that. I think it'll be a lot easier for us to get that once we have more progressives in office. What do you think?
Absolutely, and we just have to make sure that those progressives that are in office don't capitulate to the corporate politicians that are currently in office.
I agree. Wonderful. I really think we should pass. Here, drop this on you. Would you sign on to a law that said from here on out, the cost of living and our minimum wage are tied together forever? Married.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. All right, we're almost done with this. This is great. It's going so well.
This is actually very fun.
Good. I'm glad.
This is. I think we'll keep this. This is good. We just need a bigger screen.
We do. We do.
Political capital.
Political capital. All right. And I need my glasses so I can see the actual questions in here. All right, here we go. So the answer is these are not people. These are non-people. Please state your answer in the form of a question.
What are corporations?
Very good. What are corporations? And this ties into political capital, meaning money in politics. And how do you feel about money in politics from corporations? And are you taking any money from corporations in your campaign?
I am not taking any money from corporations or special interest or super PACs. I'm actually accepting money and donations from like-minded organizations that are in line with our platform, our progressive platform. As it is right now with the oil refineries and what they're doing, they are continuous offenders to the climate and to our health. And yet these are corporations that are allowed to give to campaigns and are considered people. But the moment they are offending and polluting our planet, they're not treated as people. So since they are repeat offenders against the environment and our health, they should be held in contempt, and they should be prosecuted for negligence, and much like they do with multiple DUIs and multiple times that people commit a crime, it should be put in jail. They should be shut down.
Nice. I agree with that. Sounds good to me. Last one, really. You've got we don't need to know the final category.
Got it.
So what is that question? The question is, under we don't need know, the answer is a human right. So
We don't need to know. Can I get a clue?
this might be a hard one. So consider my age, this was part of a very popular rock song. We don't need know.
Seriously, I don't know that song.
All right, this is terrible. It's Pink Floyd's "We Don't Need No Education." This is the category of education. So we're talking about education as a human right. How do you feel about public education?
You have to sing it next time.
Yeah, I know. I should have done that. This was a stretch. I realize it.
No education.
See.
Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one. And I'm showing my age here. I realize that. So what would you do with the we've got a lot of different options, and other countries, some education is free, some they pay a little bit. What do you think we should do with education in America?
I think that we should be funding our public education from fourth grade all the way through college, technical school, anything that advances the human progression, education, society itself, the economy. And that's something that should be funded, much like they do in other countries that are productive and that have a good, healthy economy. So most definitely tuition-free college and getting rid of student debt is something that I definitely support.
Do you believe in canceling student debt? I have student debt. I'm 50. Do you believe in canceling student debt?
Absolutely. It's a burden. It's a burden on your production and on your creativity to expand and to start a business or just even go back to school and pick up something new.
Awesome. How do we pay for that?
How did we pay for the bailout for the banks?
I don't know.
Just do it.
Just made up some money. I actually don't know how we paid for this. So, cool. I like that idea. Let's just make up some money. We pay for endless wars. Let's bail the students out, right?
Yeah, I would much rather invest in peace, and what better way to do that than invest in our future, in our economy, and in students and parents and things that bring about a healthy way of living rather than trying to figure out how to capitalize on someone else's misery.
All right. I'm down. I'm down. I think the Pentagon owes us all a lot of money.
I think what is it, 21 trillion?
They can cover my college debt. They can cover yours.
I welcome it.
So, what issue enrages you the most? We kind of already touched on it already, but which one's bothering you the most right now?
Right now at the moment, the fossil fuel industry does so much damage to our environment and our healthcare and our education and our economy. I think just transitioning from that would definitely help our productivity, and it would have less impact on our health. But I still feel very strongly about healthcare.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like you said, it's all tied together. I mean, I was going to say to you, healthcare was the one you'd mentioned primarily, right? And it's my issue too. I mean, I've got friends that have died because of the shit healthcare we have in this country, and no other reason, right? And that enrages me. Without a habitable planet, our healthcare really is unimportant, right? Because we'll be like running around surviving. And the fossil fuel industry seems to be responsible for the damage of both of those industries in a number of ways, right? Or the perpetuation of the,
It's correlated. When you are living in a zone that's predominantly low income, Black and brown communities are being sacrificed for the profit of the fossil fuel industry, and we're being discriminated the most, and not having healthcare and not having access or transportation to get to a healthcare facility.
Right.
And definitely healthcare is something that we need to work on, make it a huge priority, but that has to go hand in hand with our environment.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, it's really cool to interview you again and listen to you and just say, you're even better. It's really cool to have. It's really cool to have contestants in the game of life. Candidates come back, and it's like, wow, like your game is on. You got it. And so I'm so glad you're running again, because what a just a pain in the ass that must have been. It's a personal drain. It's running around like that, and I'm just so glad you were willing to do it again. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the support and inviting me back on your show, and it's really interesting to see last time the interview and this time the interview, the progression and how much knowledge I've gained in between that time and now.
Yeah.
Well as getting to build on what we have already built on our platform, and how we were able to push the nominee last year to surpass even his own expectations. So that was really awesome to see that the state of Texas really wants progressive values, progressive platform, and a progressive candidate to push it forward.
I agree. So let's be clear on this. Texas wants progressive platform, not progressive platitudes, because that's what I hear coming out of Beto, right?
That is absolutely correct.
He's so cool. He's sponsored by the auto body industry. So we haven't. You got that. Good. Anyway, this has been awesome. Let's take a couple questions from the audience. Laura, do we have some questions for Sema?
I do. Your first one, A. Mares wanted to know what your position was on federal jobs guarantee, and then you absolutely answered that already. So well done.
Awesome.
Hanks wants to know what your stance is on BDS.
BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely support the BDS movement, and I definitely do not support AIPAC as a lobbying pack and what they're doing, what they're trying to influence in our government. I definitely support peace for Palestine and the right for them to coexist. It's just something that I don't believe that our government should be funding the opposition to bring about genocide of the Palestinian people.
Hear, hear.
Good answer.
I want to just throw back at that, because I myself have been challenged on the BDS concept, and since our own sanctions against Venezuela are having such a horrific effect, what do you think about that in terms of BDS? See what
Venezuela is an issue that I've touched on several times, because the sanctions do affect the poor. They affect the people who are poor that are already suffering. They don't do anything necessarily to force the government to do something that they don't want to.
Right.
Of course, I also don't believe that our government should be meddling in anyone else's elections. So in that respect, we should not be meddling with any kind of country's elections. How they do things is how they do things, and part of why we are in so many wars is because we want to impose our own laws and our own U.S. imperialism on other countries, and that's just not something I support.
Well answered, because I put you in a really tough spot there. So,
Always.
Good job. Well answered. Laura, anybody else? Oh, you did.
I don't have any other questions just now. I think that if anybody wants to know how they can help you, they can share this video, and this is going to cover a lot of your good talking points and be a good introduction.
Awesome.
Where can people get a hold of you? Where should they go?
Oh, they said sharmuta, and that's a bad word in Arabic. It's again, I'm sorry. They should go to Sema, SEMAFOR Texas.com.
All right. Outstanding. And what do you got coming up? What's going on? Where are you going to be next?
We are still organizing the efforts here in Pasadena, Deer Park, and the Houston area, and as well as we're going to be teaming up with people in Crosby to put some town halls together.
Oh, great.
So that we can give out information on what to do if you've been exposed to benzene, to the chemicals, what actions you need to take, the kind of documentation that you need to take down, or visiting a doctor. We are trying to help our county commissioners come up with an evacuation plan, as well as an alert system to notify the public of when there is such a catastrophe, what to do. So the best option, I believe, is not to be held hostage in your home, but actually have somewhere to go when there is an evacuation in place for a chemical release or a chemical fire.
All right. And
of course, we're going to be launching our campaign in the month of May.
Okay, officially launching the campaign in the month of May.
Yes.
All right, so we're way early here. Right. Well, that's all right.
Yes.
We'll have you back. I'm sure.
But you're in,
Yeah.
You promised us now, and you are our very first interview of the 2020 season. So
yeah.
Thank you for coming back, and
thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that. That's really good. Well, I look forward to coming back and answering a lot more questions and being grilled by the audience. That's always welcomed.
Yeah.
A new round of Progressive Jeopardy with bigger boxes and higher uniforms.
Oh no, I don't know about that. Well, that'll be difficult. So tell me about this song. Tell me about this song. Somebody made this for you.
Yeah, someone. He's in our campaign team, and I don't know his real name, but I know that he goes by Dire Maker Band.
Right.
And him and his band put this song together, "Time for Sema," for us to use for our campaign, and it's something that he worked on for weeks, and they finally got into the recording studio. I didn't know this was happening. I just knew a little bit, but I didn't know the lyrics until it finally came out and they were pushing it on social media. So it's called Time for Sema.
Wow, nice. Sema. Apologies for pronouncing your name wrong the entire time.
It's okay. It's okay. It's been happening a lot. Even the little kids that I used to coach baseball would call me Coach Sema.
Oh,
and it just stuck.
All right. Well, thank you so much for running. It is the most difficult thing to do in this revolution. I appreciate that. Laura, live good. We do have anybody booked? Yeah, we do. On
Yes, Monday the 8th, I think. It's almost certain that we will have Shahid Buttar, who's running against Nancy Pelosi in California District 12, which is San Francisco. So stay tuned for that, Monday the 8th.
Awesome. I look forward to more progressives jumping in the race.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. We're stalking them. Oh.
Here we go, everybody.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Time for Sema. It's a SoundCloud, so I've got no video for you guys. Just going to have to chill and listen in the car. Right. Bye.
Bye.
No